Hi guys, hi everyone. Thank you for watching or listening. The Lidon Report. I'm Arving Gonzalez, and in this episode, we're gonna talk about what happening in Lidon the last weekend. And let's talk about uh, right away the standing after that. But before, told you that Licey won the two games against Águilas and didn't allow a run in 18 innings. In the meantime, Leones and Toros split, and Estrellas and Gigantes did the same. And the standing right now is like you can see it here is Licey with 6 wins and 2 losses, the first place, and 1 game behind Águilas with 5-3, 4-4. Estrellas and Gigantes tying the third place. Then Toros with 3 wins and 5 losses, and Leones with 2 wins and 6 losses are in the last place. And we had to talk about an outstanding performance for Ronny Mauricio, which was the winner for the position player of the week in Lidon. In Lidon, there are two awards, weekly awards, one for pitchers and the other one for position players, and both were from Licey. Let's begin with Ronny Mauricio, the New York Mets #6 prospect, who was hitting 529 with 9 hits, 2 home runs, and 7 RBIs. One of those home runs was an inside the park home run yesterday, Sunday, in the win 6-0 of Licey over Águilas. And Mauricio has been basically burning Lidon. He's leading the league in batting average, in on-base percentage, and let's share that the stats. And for that, I'm gonna be using baseballdata.com, which is one of the best places for Lidon stats, and is free. So Mauricio is hitting 441 and is leading Lidon in batting average. Also, he's leading Lidon in stolen bases with 5. And let's see how he's doing also with the OBP. He's also leading in the OBP, and his OBP is 5. Where he's second right now. He was leading before yesterday's game, but now he's second, 487. Carlos Peguero is leading for Gigantes. And then in slugging, he's second also with 735. He's second also with OPS with 122, and he already have 6 extra bases, which is second in Lidon. Also, he has scored 7 runs, which is leading the league. And basically, Ronny Mauricio has been one of the most, if not the best Lidon player so far. He's leading the league in runs created for 27 outs, which is basically the apport that a hitter can make in all the contribution as a hitter. And he's in first place also in that stat. The other one who received the award today in terms of pitching are talking about Cesar Valdez, who threw 5 scoreless innings against Águilas last Saturday, just 2 hits allowed and 3 strikeouts. And Cesar Valdez has been basically the best pitchers in the last 3 years in Lidon. He was the pitcher of the year and the MVP last Lidon season, but especially against Águilas, he's been pretty effective. He has an ERA below 280 in more than 50 innings with Licey against Águilas, and it wasn't the exception last Saturday. He was dealing again and basically dominated Águilas. And again, it was 6-0 the win for Licey against Águilas. They won 2 straight games that were facing Águilas, the biggest rivals in the Dominican Winter League. And in the game that Gigantes was playing against Estrellas, and they won the game yesterday. Carlos Peguero got a couple of RBIs, and now he's in a elite club in terms of RBIs with Gigantes in his career. So he's basically now in the 4th place. He tied with Nelson Cruz in the 4th place for most RBIs in Gigantes franchise history. And the leader is Moises Sierra with 204 RBIs, then Juan Francisco with 162, and then Eric Almonte with 136. Gigantes, who has been having like ups and downs in this beginning of the season. The offensive sometimes haven't performed as expected, and right now they are tied with Estrellas in the 3rd place with 4 wins and 4 losses. And basically Gigantes have had really good starting pitchers with Richardson Peña and Pedro Fernandez, who was the pitcher of the week in the first week on the awards. I was talking to you guys about the second week, and basically when you check the pitching stats for Gigantes, they have the 2nd best ERA with 2.71. But with Licey has been also 1.91 ERA beginning this season in the first 8 games. That's huge. That's a really good improvement from last season. But the thing with Gigantes is his batting is supposed to be better. Right now, in terms of run scores, they are in the 5th place. Only the Toros have scored less runs than Gigantes, and that's something that should improve. They already have Kelvin Gutierrez playing with the team, which was playing with the Orioles in the last season in MLB in 2022. And they have pretty good names there. They have Carlos Peguero, who in that specific case, he's been fortunately done in these first 8 games. But there's also Moises Sierra, who has to play better. Also, there is Juan Francisco, which is basically a platoon guy right now, but and have only played in 2 games. But some names that have underperformed right now is Moises Sierra, Seuli Matias, also, which have a lot of powers, by the way. And basically those 2 names, Moises Sierra and Seuli Matias, have to do better in terms of hitting, because Carlos Peguero, Henry Urrutia, and also Tito Polo has been doing great with in hitting. But the case with Urrutia is that he's not hitting extra bases. He has hit 9 hits, and all of them have been singles. So let's see how it goes. And Estrellas, who is 44, like in previous seasons, they have some young names in terms of batting. There is Marco Luciano, also Rainer Nunez, who is a sleeper prospect with the Blue Jays, and also Wilfred Veras, who was their first pick of Estrellas in the last lead-on draft, and there's another one that I'm missing. Oh yeah, Jose Tena. That's another name. And the thing with Estrellas there, they've been hitting above average in Lidon. They also have Rodolfo Duran, who has been arguably one of the 3 best hitters in Lidon this season. Also Luke Williams, who is playing decently. Not a lot of power so far, but I think with Estrellas, something that is not happening this season that they are used to is their pitching. They have the second worst ERA with 4.19, and basically when you check, when you split that, is mostly the starting pitchers. They have a 4.97 ERA, and that's something, let's say, not traditional with Estrellas in the last decade. Let's say they have had pretty good arms in terms of starting pitchers, but right now they're doing like not that well. Sean Anderson has been awful in the 2 starts that he has had. He had allowed 5 runs in only 2 innings in a third, and also Lázaro Branco, the Cuban, couldn't complete 4 innings in the only start he had, and also Radames Licey is another one who was unable to complete 4 innings. He allowed 2 runs, and it was basically the same with Jency Diaz with a 4.50 ERA. The only one who have like pitched well starting the game, I mean, is Felix Valdez, who have a 1.12 ERA, 8 innings. So that's something that they should improve. And also, let's talk a little bit about Leones. Leones keep being the worst thing in Ledon, and it's really like easy to know why. Like my man, it's been the worst thing in Ledon. They have the worst offensive, 541 OPS, almost 90 points below the league average. Same with OBP and batting average, they're being awful. And the only like brilliant point with Escogido has been the starting pitchers. Like they have really good names there, like Ivan Nova, Josh Smith have been 2 of them. And when you see like the other side of the pitching, which is the relievers, they've been awful. It's been 8 games for Escogido, and 6 of the losses, or the 6 losses that they have had, have been because of the relievers. So 5.67 ERA, 1.64 WHIP, 4 blown saves. So that's really embarrassing what Leones has had in terms of relievers. And basically, you cannot win games without good hitting and without bullpen, especially in Lidon, when starting pitchers usually don't go beyond the 4 inning or 5 inning in the best scenario. So that's something they have to adjust. And they made one signing today. They signed reliever Javi Guerra from Panama, who was pitching in MLB with the Tampa Bay Rays this season, and in 16 innings he struck out 9 guys and had a 3.38 ERA. He's been in the big leagues since 2019, and he also pitch with San Diego, and his fastball tops the 100 mile per hour. And let's see. I think this is a huge ad for Escogido, which is basically losing all the games in part because they're not hitting enough, and that's why the game is always like so close with when it goes to the last third of the innings of the game, 7 innings, 8 innings, 9 innings, and the other part is the reliever is terrible. So let's see what happens. Another info I have to tell you, guys, about is Tristan Casas. Casas is not in the weekly roster for the second time in a row with Licey. He's been dealing with a knee discomfort. Yesterday, Sunday, October 23, he made the trip to Boston, and he's gonna be checked there by the Red Sox doctors to see if he can go back with Licey. They are optimistic in terms of his availability to return to Licey and play the whole season, as he expressed, and as the team, Tigres del Licey, expressed that he will be available to play the entire season. But that's something that right now we don't know. That's not sure right now, but let's keep an eye on that. And last info is about Estrellas. They list in the weekly roster Rockies third baseman Elehuris Montero, and he's expected to make his debut in this week, and that's a really good name for not only for Estrellas but for Lidon, a guy who was basically playing most of the season in MLB, and let's remember that was basically the main guy that was involved, that went to the Rockies when Nolan Arenado was traded from the Rockies to the St. Louis Cardinals, and he hit 6 homers, 20 RBIs, have a 702 OPS. He's just 23 years old, and it's gonna be fun to win plays with Estrellas. And yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for listening, for watching the video on YouTube, for listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify and your favorite platform. So we're gonna be talking again in a couple of days, and now that there's no World Series till next Friday, you're gonna have 4 straight nights without baseball. I encourage you to watch Lidon. They have really good players. They are putting a good show, and it's getting better and better because a bunch of major leaguers are gonna be playing there to be ready to play for the Dominican Republic in the WBC. So have a good one, and see you. Or I'm gonna be talking about Lidon in another